Yeah, see, that's, I didn't know. I knew JK. I didn't know Justin. JK just introduced him. He said, oh, this is the guy helping out.
Yeah. So Justin's been doing a lot of the basketball games, but he's also a graduate of our journalism and media progression school.
This is, like I said, I know you were in an odd situation there at Riverside. This is a little bit more comfortable for you, but I was watching the stream just to check on things. You sounded great on it. It came through well.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you for doing that this morning for the semis.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So in between games, what I'm going to tell you to do is these batteries last for maybe just over a game. Okay. But what you can do is just pull this off by pulling up on it. Switch the
there's
battery.
another one there.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought this was what these were for.
No.
Okay.
So that's all you have to do. Is that from Aaron or is that?
That was just sitting there on the table.
That's probably from Aaron because I told her we use mics down on court on basketballs during their broadcast.
Yep.
So if she brought them up, that's what they're for. Anyways, you can have this on, but in between, I guess I'm gonna hold it on. In between games, I would say switch out the battery and let the next one charge, and then pop in a new battery. Okay. We just got the 2 batteries, and that's it. This one is fully charged already; it's ready to go.
Okay.
So, Justin, if you do an audio check, or you can once in a while take a look at Mixer.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's where Justin's coming in right there. Yep. And he can see right here what their levels are. Go ahead again, Justin.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so you're on channel 2 there, Justin. You can bring that up a little bit.
Okay.
1 o'clock maybe.
Okay.
There.
Okay, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
As long as he's hitting like that -10 right there,
Yep,
it's pretty
that's
good.
ideal, right?
If he gets into the red, he can back himself off a little bit.
Yeah.
Or if you notice it, just tell him back off a little bit. But Justin's pretty good at it. They've watched this in the past. They've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin will just keep an eye on it for both channels there.
Okay.
So basically, both of you, Justin, will be at 1 o'clock on there.
Mm-hmm.
There is a 3rd channel right there. The 3rd channel is a shotgun mic down over here.
Okay.
Down towards the court.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just for some ambient noise.
Okay.
And Andrew, you'll be able to listen to that. So listen to Justin in there as well. So Justin, go ahead.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. And
Good afternoon and welcome to the WFCU Center in Windsor, Ontario for today's consolation final for the OFSAA AA Championships between the John Paul II Jaguars and the John Vanier Mavericks. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside me is James Kennedy as we get all set to go for what should be a fun matchup for this consolation final here.
Well, no question, Justin. It's a pleasure to be on top of the Windsor Family Credit Union, calling the game from the hockey booth. Basketball action as good as it gets. These are two teams that were unlucky in their initial efforts here at the AA final in the Rose City of Windsor. But they get a chance in the repertoires to come back. And, you know, one of the few teams, there's only going to be 3 teams that go home today with the victory. And the consolation champion is one, the bronze medal is the other, and the gold medalist, of course, after that. So here's a chance for these two teams, very athletic, not the biggest teams in the world, but what you're going to see is the teams that are going to get up and down, use their athleticism. I do not think that the shot clock is going to be a factor today. It's going to be a highfalutin game.
Absolutely, as both teams just about all set to go. John Vanier wearing their red jerseys with the black trim, while the white jerseys are worn by the Jaguars with the burgundy and black trim. Action is underway from Windsor, Ontario. First possession goes to the Jaguars. Sweat around the outside. Brendan Mudge at the point guard spot. Shooting guard position, it is Agok. Tries to pass it along to Emmanuel Eku. No good on the jump shot. Rebound picked up by the Mavericks.
One and done for the Jags on the first initial look. And there you're going to see it. That was a one-pass offense and a quick look from 3. No good for them. Chance for, well, in today's program, the visitors to recover.
Rebound picked up for a third opportunity on the drive. No good on the third attempt. Rebound picked up this time by the Jaguars. Approaching 1 minute into the first quarter of the consolation final, the OFSAA AA Championships offensive foul drawn.
We do have a third team out on the floor today, Justin. We have a local representative wearing the stripe today. That's Mark Garvey. Mark's a veteran of the Windsor and District Refereeing Society. And we have Matt Rose. Matt comes to us from the oil town of Sarnia.
Good to see them make the trip for today's action. The starters once again for the Jaguars. Beasley lined up on the floor alongside Caleb Moses. He'll watch as the first bucket is dropped, however, by the Mavericks in Rehan Akbar.
And the Mavericks show a little bit of pressure defense. Both teams are playing a traditional half-court man-to-man, but after a score, it looks like the Mavs are going to jump to a diamond or a 1-2-2 press. Resulted in a foul on the first one. Teams need to steal the pass, not the dribble.
1 foul each side so far as the Jaguars go inside out.
And as I mentioned that both teams were in a man-to-man, don't the Mavericks jump to a 1-3-1? This might be to negate a little bit of the height advantage of the Jaguars, a little bit of a hybrid zone. You don't see the 1-3-1 very much. Let's see if they stick with it or switch back to the man-to-man here.
Indeed. In terms of some of the players on the floor here, James, for the Jaguars in that reference, you have players who are 6'7", 6'5" amongst that starting 5.
Yeah, and the Jags, as we hinted at, they're going to have a bit of the height advantage. They have the Sudanese army out there, so there's some long, stringy guys out there.
Pass nearly stolen away to Agok. Swung around to the baseline. Layup no good.
Hard drive there and a good power move without any dribble, but just $1 million move and a $5 finish. Not able to get it to drop.
Transferred Mensah.
Hockey arena, and we got a hockey score. Only 2-0 at this point. Oh, nice pass. Found him cutting, obviously, on the inside there. We're going to label that a pass, Justin. Is that all right?
Yeah, sounds like that, as it's a good bucket from Mensah on the cut. 4-0 start for the Mavericks 2 minutes into the first quarter. Jaguars set up on offense, up on the top. Drive inside, stolen away by John Vanier.
Active hands. Oh, a nice block.
Reject on the first chance, second chance draws the whistle. And that will bring Malachi Spencer to the stripe, the 6'2" forward, grade 11.
So we know Jean Vanier is a Scarborough school. They have been a tremendous competitor at the AA level for some time now. This year's record, 19-5. League play was 13-4. Fine competitor up there in the Toronto, the GTA area. On the other side of the ledger, the Jean Paul are competing in the AA championship today, and they're from London, Ontario, part of a great community of basketball playing schools and prep teams that are in the London community.
And again, they've made the trek all the way down to Windsor as it's stolen away by the Mavericks. Poked out of bounds, and possession stays to the Mavericks. 6-0 start for them so far as they'll inbound it from the corner. Inbound comes from the sideline this time. Move from the top, Mensah. Pass back to the left, Spencer. Back outside, the drive, the floater, no good. Tapped off the front rim, rebound picked up by the Jaguars. Jaguars still looking for their first bucket this game, nearly stolen away on the pass. Driving inside the lane, bucket is good. On the cut, Brendan Mudge with the first points of the game for John Paul II. Whistle called, Mavericks ready to inbound.
Yeah, Mudge wasn't good on his first attempt. That time he went with the left hand, and that was a nice finish above the rim. Little finger roll action, little jelly on it.
So far, though, the Mavericks have been stronger on the offensive end with a 6-point score. They look to try and turn it into a run of sorts. Stolen away on the pass outside. Fast break led up the floor, and the Jaguars now starting to build a run for themselves on the bucket from Dunn.
Transition off of turnovers, points off of turnovers, some of the analytics of the game that coaches look for. Deep three from there. That was a WNBL three there.
Too far, though, off the back rim. Picked up again by the Jaguars. Approaching halfway to go in the first quarter.
That's a charge.
And yes, indeed, offensive foul. That time of the drive was a gok.
Referee Matt Rose with the emphatic punch of the fist, indicating a player control, a charge call. So both teams seem to be feeling each other out here. It's kind of like a bit of a heavyweight fight, or in this case, not a lot of heavyweights out there. We got some thin boys and probably a middleweight bout that's going on, but they're kind of sizing each other up. 2 points, not much in it, and we're just about at the halfway mark of the first quarter here in the Rose City.
Tariq Hamid coming into the game on that stoppage for John Vanier. Meanwhile, they go for the deep shot, no good at the three-point line. Fast break up the floor to tie it up. Yes, he's got it.
Yeah, we'll call that the mini dunk. He was above the rim and just pushed it down. Didn't really slam it down. Made sure the basket, 6-6. They're on a 6-0 run.
Emmanuel a cut on that last bucket. He'll try and set up underneath the semicircle. Three-pointer in response, no good.
You know, I'm gonna attribute some of the shooting woes. Most of these athletes would not be used to a background such as we have at the Windsor Family Credit Union, which is obviously a hockey setup with a basketball court on it. There's no back curtain or back wall. Most of the high school gyms they're playing in, the wall is 6 to 8 feet away. So you've got a different dimension, a different look to the rim. And unless you're in here for a good couple of hours, it does take a while to get used to it. This might be a factor throughout all 3 games today.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it factors in. A lot of the fans packing to the left side grandstands as well.
I think that's the only admission side. I saw some people walking around to the building.
Either way, three-point shot still no good outside for the Mavericks. They have an ice cold from beyond the arc to start this matchup. Agok draws the reach in, and they'll set up for the inbound on the reach.
And we mentioned both teams competing today. A chance to get a quick look at Jean Paul II High School. As we said, they're the OFSAA champions, and in the AA side of things, their record this year has been a much improved 29-9, and they ran the table in their league play at 15-0.
Yeah, very good team in their league, and they're showing some of that flex here with the triple. It's good on the jump shot, Andrew Beasley.
Nice job by Beasley. Beasley serves that sort of athletic hybrid position there. Amongst the athletes that are out there, he's the chunky wonder.
Yeah, at 6 foot. He now helps with the Jaguars having a 9-0 run to start. Breaking up the run, the jump shot for the outside from Abner Nagaya. Drive back, drives in Brendan Mudge.
Well, I think Mudge has maybe found a way to finish at the rim. That's 2 lefties he's finished with after his first unsuccessful drive right-handed.
11-8 the score, approaching 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Jaguars with the advantage. Slowing things down up the top, back outside. Once again trying to find space. Nagaya. Whistle drawn before the shot attempt.
And Justin, when I see that type of defense, which was really all hands and no feet, it's probably an indicator. These athletes have been here since Monday. The banquet was Sunday, so they've been here for 4 days. They're into their now 5th game of the tournament, and so it adds up. You know, they play 2 on the first, 2 on the second. They're playing a championship consolation today, and sometimes you don't get the feet active enough when it requires, and you get caught with the reach-in.
Yeah, at the very minimum, these teams are guaranteed 3 games with this tournament, and the teams who make it all the way here play much more.
Yeah, it can be a battle of attrition, and you see another turnover. Probably our number 1 analytic stat thus far, and we're only 6 minutes in, has been turnovers, and there's another one.
That one passed right back all the way to the stanchion, to no man's land. Mavericks possession, 2:01 to go in the first quarter.
Nudge seems to be a little bit frustrated down there, trying to get his hands on a ball, and the pass was just a little errant.
Mavericks trying to set up their offensive set once again. On the outside.
Oh, could have got away with the travel there, I think. Well, very loose man-to-man, not a lot of pressure by the Jags. They're going to sit back in this safe man-to-man.
Going inside, back outside. 3-point shot, it's good. Nagaya on the triple, and we're tied at 11.
Both teams with a single 3-pointer.
Pass nearly stolen away. Drive back down low, under the cup, it's good.
Yeah, nice pass by Beasley there. He found middle penetration, which required help defense. The help defense comes, and he found the way to get the pass into the lane.
Dud on the previous bucket, shot no good in response from Nagaya. Approaching 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Down low, the quick pass, the quick bucket.
Yeah, Coach Schumacher is calling for his teams to speed things up. He was asking them to push it up. They kind of had a little delayed break there. Not much setup, no set piece thus far by either team trying to get it going in transition.
Yeah, a lot of the teams from what was seen here in this tournament so far using maybe this point of the shot clock, about 18 seconds at the most. That one's tapped out.
And it's really a reflection or the nature of the game. Maybe it is one of the things that the decision makers have to look at. I think the 35-second shot clock is superfluous. When teams aren't even using that much anyway, they should go with FIBA. Everybody in the world plays FIBA, except the Americans, and, we don't need them anyway. I'd like to see the 24-second clock. Kids can handle it. It's easy enough for them to do. They do it in their rep leagues, in their prep. Sorry, not their prep teams, but their AAU or their OBA divisions. So it's a thing that they should be implementing.
They have called a 5th personal foul, by the way, on that play down the baseline. That's going to bring the Mavericks to the stripe.
Puts them there in the penalty. In FIBA, you shoot 2 shots after 5, and that's part of the FIBA game. FIBA rules: widen lane. Different 3, although they have modified the 3 in this game. It is a high school 3, which is just the top of the circle, so it's not quite the international standard. That I don't disagree with.
Where the white line is.
Yeah, the white line, which was put in just for this, because normally the, of course, Express play here, and they're going to play a game after the gold medal tonight. Yeah. But that's where they play the deeper 3.
Indeed, stolen away, though, by the Mavericks. Shot clock is off. The drive inside, blocked. Second chance down low, does draw contact on the whistle. And that is Tariq Hamid, who will go to the stripe.
Nice block by Agok. Agok is one of those, probably, I think he looks all of 6'5", but he has probably a 6'9" reach. He doesn't have to bend over to tie his shoes. Those arms are quite long.
However, Emmanuel Ekut having to come out of the ball game with that foul. That will bring Andrew Beasley back onto the floor, also for the first time in the game. Appears they will bring in a second player onto the lineup in Madin Atat. Second free throw, no good. And the Jaguars still lead by 1 with the shot clock off. Agak to Beasley. Drives in, right-hand layup, it's good.
Well, what do we tell the young kids at home? It's the backboard is your friend.
From half court, nearly hits the Jumbotron, no good. And after 1 quarter of play, the Jaguars lead 17-14 over the Mavericks. Your thoughts here?
Well, my thoughts, and it's a pleasure calling the game with you, Justin. It's one of those things that I think both teams have still yet to find what I would call solid footing. This is it's a bigger court. So they're playing on an international or an NBA-sized court.
Yep.
Most high schools go around 80, 85 feet. This thing's going 95 feet. It's a little bit wider. So they're not quite used to running wide, running fast. So I think there's some of that we would like to see more of in the remaining 3 quarters. But that said, I lean towards the Jags' length is gonna prove out here, I think, over the Mavs in terms of their ability to defend. And the Mavs are going to junk it up a little bit. We've already seen it. They've thrown a 1-2-2. They've thrown a little bit. I didn't see it throw it a second time, but a bit of a hybrid zone defense. Yeah. So I think that's what they're going to do to kind of contest defensively, where you've noticed the Jaguars have sat back. They're playing straight man-to-man, a little bit of switching. So both teams still feeling themselves out. At 17-14, there's not much in it, Justin.
Both teams about to come out of their huddles here for the second quarter. See how the next 8 minutes turn out. Once again, it is John Paul II on top by 3. They'll bring out a lineup that features a group featuring Agak lined up alongside Brendan Mudge. Also on the floor, Andrew Beasley for their side alongside Manning Atat. Rounding out the 5 is Caleb Moses Dutt. Mavericks have the first possession of the second quarter as they'll set up on offense. Flip screen set for the three-pointer outside. No good. Picked up for the second chance by Menza. Pass back to the baseline. This time the jump shot does fall. It's Raheem Akbar.
Raheem didn't even get his feet set. He just turned quick and chucked it and found a way to get it to drop. Brings his team within 1.
Rounding out the 5 for the Mavericks. Nagaya lined up on the court alongside Malachi Spencer. As the drive is good down the baseline.
Mudge is really good there off that baseline. I do not think that the Mavericks can sit back in a zone with the 6'7" Agat or Dutt standing right in the middle there, just be able to pass over or around the zone.
Mavericks trying to set things up with their offensive set, trailing by 3. Through to the traffic, no good. Second chance picked up, still 14 on the shot clock. Left hook, no good. Rebounded by the Jaguars.
Dutt with a big rebound. He did get beat on the dribble drive.
And again, baseline drive leads to the bucket. Mudge again on the bucket.
Yeah, Mudge with 8 thus far, and most of his points, well, they all have been right at the rim.
He has been one of the main options on offense for the Jaguars. He tries to go for the block on the 3. No good. Second chance picked up for the drive. It's good.
Dead legs by the Jaguars, failing in both of the previous possessions to clear or get a what we call one and done. Defensive rebounding is an issue. The smaller, more diminutive Mavericks have been active on the offensive glass.
That bucket helps bring this still a 3-point ball game. Long shot outside, no good. Picked up the rebound by Menza.
And no action offensive glass-wise by the Jaguars, kind of sitting back.
Paint left wide open as the 3, very deep, no good. Leads the second chance, down low again for another bucket.
Well, that's the third, and I believe in the last 4 possessions, offensive opportunities here, and thus far the Mavericks' best offense has been a putback off the offensive glass.
Yeah, it's helped them trim the gap down to 1 just past 2 minutes into the second quarter.
Mavericks in a 2-3 straight matchup zone defense. Not a lot of teams play it. You're susceptible to the angles. You see the back door there. Good look and a cut by the Jags on there, which is where you're going to find the holes in this defense. The backdoor cut or the middle attack where you get the ball in the middle to the high post, and that person should be your playmaker, your distributor, and from there they can either attack or pass for attack.
Substitution brought on the floor, by the way, in the stoppage brings Justin Servito back onto the court. With 11 still on the shot clock, quickly given down low for the post. Once again, bucket is good from Dutt.
Turn him loose. 23-20 the score now. Jags in the lead.
Jump shot for three. No, make it in good.
Used every bit of the rim there, Justin. Had us fooled looking at it from above. It didn't look like it had a chance, but found its way.
Hit every part of the rim all the way down into the netting. Ties us up at 23. Out of the double team, Jaguars pass it to the baseline. Back outside, trying to stretch the defense. Drive down low.
That is a great
good.
look by Mudge to do what we call a skip pass. He went right over the top. The skip pass causes the greatest distress to the zone defense, and they jumped out too fast, and the dribble drive, as you see, that dribble drive, not good enough for the Mavs.
Tapped out of bounds, stays Mavericks possession, however, with 34 seconds now on the shot clock, approaching halfway through the second quarter here, James. Inbound goes straight underneath the basket. No good on the shot.
Baseline out of bounds. The specialty team play. Need to get buckets there. Clock is dead. Your option, and just couldn't get a bucket out of it.
Out of the double team. Pass back outside. One round.
Tremendous movement.
The movement leads to a poke. Off the poke. The bucket is good.
Let's give the assist to the Mavericks on that one. Tipped it right to him.
Agok with an impressive bucket on the baseline drive.
Agok has 6. Mudge has 8. They're leading their teams in scoring. Their team in scoring.
And that three, meanwhile, no good for Menza from three-point land. Reach in called on Menza.
Now, you did see what happened there as Menza was going for the steal.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, sorry, check that. I think it was...
Yeah.
It was a Mavs 20. Was it Menza?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
and he's called for the foul. However, this is a great position to actually steal in. I've been on this court, and the Express use it as well. Mm-hmm. It's a slip zone. That crest on the middle of the court is not sticky. You if you go for a steal, you often catch. Mudge almost had that one above the rim. But just we'll look for that maybe in the future if they go to steal right off of that crest.
Yeah, that's actually a good point in terms of that discussion. Lots of steals happen in NBLC games at that part of the court. Shot no good, meanwhile, down low leads to a second chance for the Mavericks. Drive, baseline, drops. Spencer on the bucket once again. And it's back and forth in this consolation final with 3:23 to go in the first half. Agok.
Well, if you're listening in from Scarborough or London to this consolation championship, don't go anywhere. It's a close one. 2 points separating these teams. Great pass again from the outside. Big to big passing, I call that. We're going with the pass on that, okay, Justin?
Yeah.
The statistician is not calling that a shot. We're going with the pass.
Yeah. Dutt on the bucket. Timeout called on the floor from the head coach of the Mavericks and Renval Gonzalez. At this point, what do you discuss with your team? Because now the momentum's swinging back to the Jaguars again.
Well, we use the example of the middleweight bout earlier in the description of the first quarter. I think here, this is now the counterpunch. So your team is only down 4, and that's not insurmountable, but there's something he doesn't like. And for me, I think he's got to come out of this zone, for one. Yeah. They've been able to dribble drive out of it, and I just don't see them staying in it long enough with the ability of the Mavericks to pass the ball. So I think here that's the first adjustment he's going to make. Yeah. Offensively, he has a lot of people standing around. Mm-hmm. What you'd like to see out of the 5 out or the 5 spread is a pass, a cut, and a replace. Yeah. They are passing it, but there's not a lot of cut action. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that from the Mavericks and put the Jags out under pressure on the defensive end.
See if that's exactly what they go with here with 3:10 to go in the second quarter. Once again, the score 29 for the Jaguars, 25 for the Mavericks. Mavericks possession as they get ready to come out of the timeout and look to go and do so running. Taken up by Powell LaCourte.
Quite the hairdo on LaCourte.
Gets it out of the double team. Gets it back. Drives baseline. Pass back outside, reset, very deep 3, it's good.
Oh, he's happy about that one as well. And there's the defense. So from three-pointer to 1-2-2 zone press.
Quick steal leads to the quick 3, back-to-back trays for the Mavericks.
ATO right there after timeout results, and that is fantastic. 6 points and take the lead now at 31-29 and force the air ball at the other end. So tremendous 3 possessions there. Call it 2.5 because one of them came off a steal.
Nagai that time on the rebound. Nagai gets the ball. Tries to drive by Beasley. Back outside with 19 on the shot clock. Move back up at the top. The right-hand drive. Draws the whistle. Bunny ears pop up. Free throws coming up.
Well, right now the quick observation defensively is it looks to me almost like Dot and Mudge are playing like a 2-man zone back there. They really don't go with their man on a cut or to the perimeter. I know Mudge is complaining down there right now. I don't like to see that in a young athlete. Find a way to be positive, but I'm not quite sure if that's by design or by fatigue. We'll keep an eye on it here.
Yeah.
First one's a miss.
Yep. This is from Malachi Spencer, trying to stretch the gap to 3. Spencer's second free throw is good. 1 for 2 at the strike.
7-0 run since the timeout by the Mavericks coach. And this is looking, still sticking with the 1-2-2. Reversals there, which is smart. Eats up a little bit of the clock.
Leads to the cut. Back outside. Beasley, no good. Rebound picked up this time by Spencer. Quickly passed along the floor. On top of the 3-point line, no good. Second chance, Boyd pass for 3. No good that time.
What an athletic move. Tremendous action there by Spencer. He would rebound pass. You don't see that very often. And there's a good extra pass by the Jags, breaking the 7-0 drought.
A cut on the bucket to break up the run and make it just a 1-point deficit. 90 seconds to go in the first half. Stolen away by the Jaguars.
Yeah, and that's Spencer there maybe asking of himself a little too much there. A little extra pass. Didn't recognize the defense had sunk to ball level.
Foul called against John Vanier and the Mavericks on the double team.
Nice to see, Justin, that despite the fact that we've got 2 out-of-town teams, and the out-of-town teams will be represented in the bronze and gold games as well, but it's starting to fill up a little bit on the far side there, so some of the Windsor basketball faithful and travelers from London and Scarborough are here today.
Stolen away by the Mavericks. Back outside, Spencer. Scans the floor. Has an open paint. Drives into the paint. Can't get it to go. Second chance, misses. Under a minute to play in the first half.
Spencer plays with a lot of savvy out there, only a grade 11 student. He'll be back in the Mavs uniform next year.
Mudge passes it away, moved up the floor. The drive, caught for the travel on the drive.
And that's that one-hand gather. I'm not a huge fan of it. I understand why players do it. It's a split-second saving in time. But to me, if you could put 2 mitts on it, I think you eliminate that travel, which was another turnover and has been a high statistical variable here today, is the amount of turnovers in this first half.
And timeout was called by the Mavericks as they were not liking what they were seeing in the past couple possessions here. Just 42.3 seconds remaining here. And what's kind of your discussion point as a coach with this little time left in a half?
Well, one of the things that happens in the games is you want to win the mini games. So you want to win from the opening tip and the opening 3 minutes. You want to win the first several minutes or minutes after the first break, which is the start of the second quarter. And this is another example that if I'm coaching these guys, I'm saying, look, guys, it's as close as it can get. It's a 1-point stretch. At this point, let's win the 42 seconds.
Yeah.
So break the game down into mini games. And at this point, with a 35-second shot clock, you're looking at least a 2-possession game, and a steal could give you 3 possessions. And in 42 seconds, that could be a big sway in this game because the spread has been no greater than 4 points.
Yeah, it's been very close and back and forth since the opening tip. As the Jaguars have possession, set up for the inbound in front of their own bench. Alcock, look at the man inbounding. A cut takes it up. Beasley.
I think coach is going to work this down, try to eat up as much of that 42 seconds as he can.
Swing it around the outside, trying to drain that clock. Trying to pass it into traffic. Batted around, out of bounds. Stays Jaguars' possession.
Yeah, tight passing from Mudge to Dot. And I think at 6'7", he probably could have put that up around the rim. Not a great pass by Mudge, tipped away by the Mavs.
Mudge gets it directly and elects to draw the foul.
Somebody was sleeping. We call that the blob, the baseline out of bounds. And not only is it a huge opportunity offensively to get a special teams point, clock dead, you get a chance to score, but it's also a chance where you got to tune in defensively, and the Mavericks were definitely not there. They were sound asleep on that inbounds. Mudge was not even guarded.
Yeah, and that in turn
Ooh.
leads to the first missed free throw for him.
At some point in its flight, it must travel 15 feet. Why is that, Justin? Because the line is 15 feet away.
Yeah. Well, he makes the second one and gets
Good
to
answer.
15 feet. The previous one went about 14 and a half.
You got it.
As the shot clock is off, Mavericks try and have the last shot of the half. Swung around the outside once again. Calling for motion, no one down low, everybody up top. Driving in the bucket, no good. And the ball bounces out of bounds with 0.1 seconds remaining.
Which means the half is over because it's an impossibility in 0.1 of a second to actually get a shot off, but the necessity is to simply inbound it. They could kind of go for a tip here, but oh, there it is, done.
And that indeed is the end of the first half. 32-all after 16 minutes of play. Your quick thoughts before we go into halftime.
Well, I think we have to look at both teams sharpening the saw a little bit. The biggest statistical variable was the amount of turnovers, and I think both teams were equally guilty of their sloppiness.
Yeah.
That's one thing the coaches will definitely talk about. What we'll need to see, I think, and what really helped the Mavericks there was directly at the ATO after timeout.
Yeah.
They went on that 7-point run, and part of it was the defense after the score. So the 2 threes came. So I'm looking for a little bit more of that. I'm not sure if it's dysfunctional or just being a bit uncomfortable. The Jags look a little uncomfortable. We'll go with that. Yeah. Not exactly in tune offensively, but when they did get the ball to move, we saw Mudge with the skip pass over the top. That was impressive. I like the high-low action when they actually take their time to make the pass. To me, against the zone, a ball fake is as good as a pass. So maybe a little bit more of that, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see indeed. We'll take a step aside. Start of the third quarter coming up in just a little bit.
Here at St. Clair College, it's about you. It's about your passion, your skills, and stepping up to the challenge. St. Clair College has 3 campuses in Windsor and Chatham, and is a destination college located in the most southern point of Canada. One of the most culturally diverse cities, Windsor shares an international border with Michigan and is home to over 30,000 college and university students per year. It's here where we rise above, where we soar to our full potential. Together, we go the distance. With more than 12,800 full-time students, providing over 120 advanced diplomas, degrees, and graduate certificate programs. The center of all we do at St. Clair College is student-focused, and our Student Services program was designed with that in mind. We support academic excellence through counseling, tutoring, accessibility, and academic advising to ensure student success. Our reputation as a premier educator and our commitment to academic excellence is seen in all we do. From programs in community studies and the arts, to engineering technology and skilled trades. With the new Zekelman School of Business and Information Technology, students will be equipped to rise above the ordinary. With both a physical space and curriculum to ensure that graduates are the leaders of tomorrow. Our Genesis Entrepreneurship Center is a hub that connects students with alumni, faculty, and industry within the community to foster a culture of entrepreneurship. St. Clair College offers a wide range of activities to enhance campus life. From varsity and intramural sports to the state-of-the-art health and fitness facilities, there's something for everyone. Our students and faculty are an important part of our community. From polar plunges, a variety of fundraisers, to community events, groundbreakings, and unveilings. The college's mission of excellence in all we do is shared by faculty, administrators, and staff as they prepare students with careers that will shape the economy of tomorrow. Success grows with the strength of our alumni, and we are proud to recognize that each and every one of them is part of our international success. Our 100,000 plus alumni take an active role in our success. Whether serving as academic advisors, providing internships, or participating in social events. Our relationship is ongoing with graduates that ultimately enrich our current programs for student success. It's here where we feel welcomed and inspired, and where we become work ready. St. Clair College, it's time to take flight, rise above the ordinary.
Welcome back, everyone, to the WFCU Center for more coverage of the OFSAA Boys Basketball Championships. It's the consolation final, where it's all tied up at 32 apiece as we get ready for the next 16 minutes of second half basketball. Justin Prince alongside James J.K. Kennedy here in the broadcast booth at the WFCU Center. It's been an entertaining one so far. What are your keys to the second half first off?
Well, as we hinted at during the 42-second time, at the 42-second mark, the timeout that was called by the Mavs, I always look at the second start of a game, which is right after half, where you should have put in some of your counter punches. You're going to put in your adjustments at this point. So let's see who wins the first 3 minutes. So you're asking me what I think my key is in a tied ball game. I'm going to tell you first, I think in this game, first to 65 is going to win. And the first 3 minutes will give us a real indicator of who's switched on. So we hope that the people listening in London and Scarborough have a chance to give us a shout out there as you're listening on OFSAA TV today. We have a crack crew that has been working with us all week, if you will, since Monday. Andrew Suliak is the chief cook and bottle washer of our technical broadcasting team. Yusuf Banganin, grade 9 student at Riverside Secondary School, and Malo Lul are our camera crew here today. So thank them for their volunteering and stepping up at the AA OFSAA Finals.
It's absolutely appreciated, and a lot of work's been put in for this tournament to go off without a hitch. The Jaguars look to have their second half begin without a hitch. They have the first possession of the third quarter.
And a hybrid 1-3-1. We haven't seen that since the first quarter, trapping in the corners.
Beasley trying to pass out, able to find his man down low, shot no good.
Boy, Mudge is really having trouble. He's usually so productive around the rim. He's well under 50. Well, he made the 3 in a row, so I'm going to put him just under 50% shooting today.
Size up meanwhile for Spencer. Pass back outside. The corner J, no good. Done on the rebound.
Awkward look there. Not a real flowing shot by Opedri.
Meanwhile, the pass stolen away.
Yeah, but he makes up for it on the steal. So it's not what you do on the missed shot. It's what you do afterwards. He can't kiss it, though, off the glass.
Taken back up by the Jaguars. Agag. Able to pass it away. Able to find his man in traffic.
Absolute length right over the top of the Mavericks. No chance there going over him.
3-point jumper, no good. Pick back up for the second chance. Able to put it back in and tie it back up at 34.
Nice pass off by David. A couple of grade 10 students connecting there, so they're going to have a chance to compete at the AA level again.
Meanwhile, back down low, Mudge with another quick bucket just past the 92nd into the quarter mark.
I laid down the challenge to Mudge, and he did answer that one.
Mavericks looking to respond back again.
Turnover.
Ball out of bounds.
Oh, wow.
And they do say it goes off the Jaguars.
Yeah.
After the mishandle that time from Akbar.
Even Akbar was heading down the other way. He knows it was off him. That was clearly off him. But the angle that Rose and Garvey were at was not good to make the call.
Quick jump shot off the inbound splash.
Yeah. And there's that blob play, baseline out of bounds. Defense is sleeping.
Spencer on that bucket. Pressure off the front court. And they'll go the other direction. Jaguars thought that went off a Maverick.
And it was. So no problem. Good communication between Rose and Garvey, our third team out there. Veteran official Mark is not backing down. He's letting referee Rose know.
And they do overturn the call. Was going to say that clearly went off a Maverick in the red and black jerseys.
Coach Schumacher is a little bit beside himself, but I think even he knows.
Inbound goes outside. Trying to swing it around are the Jaguars. Agag feels pressure, able to find Mudge again. Baseline, this time steps on it, turned over.
Yeah, Mudge is just not quite in gear. I know he's got his 8 points, 6 in the first, 2 here in the second, but just doesn't seem to have that spark today.
Yeah, 5:45 to go in the third quarter. Mavericks
coming to that 3-minute mark that we spoke of, Justin, and neither team has asserted themselves in terms of who's going to take control of this game.
3-point shot, that splashes Menza.
Yeah, Menza, you kind of hope that one in. Good use of the legs there, a little dip shoot.
Response back is good, though. Mudge with the quick play.
Well, if you're going to press, you're going to be leaving the backside open, and they just pass right over top of it.
Jump shot inside the paint, no good. Off the front of the wing from Menza. Taken up by Agag. Pass down low, bounces off the rim and taken away.
Good hands by Spencer. And then transition to basket. Nicely done. So they go from steal to direct points.
Mensah on the bucket. Down low, whistle drawn.
Yeah, and Mudge, that was a nice move, attacking the rim with a little Euro step. Kind of step at the defender, then step away from both contact and the defender, limiting the chance for a blocked shot, but nicely done. Made very popular in today's NBA by Luka Doncic and many others. Probably Ginobili was the one that made it most famous at the pro level.
Yeah.
Mudge looked good there going to the basket. A little variety in that step.
Mudge, though, missed the first of the 2 free throws. As mentioned, a 6'1" player in grade 11. Has
Only
been
a 56% shooter from the line. Rattles it home.
1 for 2 once more. 41-39. Now the score for the Mavericks on top. Baseline. Down low, off the front of the rim. What a shot by Mensah, picked up by Mudge. Mudge takes it across the center line, able to avoid the slip steal. 3-point jumper, splash, it's good. A cut. Now buzzer sounds off. Timeout called at half court. 4:30 to go in the third.
Early time out here by Mavericks coach. I'm just. It's only a 1 point. He's seeing something that I just can't. I don't know what he's seeing out there. He obviously didn't like something. You only have 5 timeouts per game. Must use 2 in the first half. You have 3 in the second half, one of which must be used before the 2-minute mark. But this is third quarter timeout. He's seeing something out there that he wants to rectify right now.
Yeah, right now, neither team ended up in, I think, in our opinions, took control in those first 3 minutes of the quarter like we were expecting.
No, we're past that mark, and neither team. And again, I don't know if I'm seeing an exact or an element of fatigue out there. To me, when you watch Mensah on his last 2 shots, they were in close and tight. Both of them went short. To me, that's legs. Sometimes it's adrenaline. So we'll see how they adjust right here. Mavericks ball on the baseline.
David Apadre will be the one inbounding, and he's had a stellar game shooting, has hit multiple triples for this Maverick squad. They look to try and take the lead back after the timeout. Taken up the floor. This time by Servito. Corner jump shot. Just misses.
I'm pretty sure that during that timeout, a guarded 3 was not being asked for by coach.
Yeah. With a couple different defenders. Meanwhile, the slam, it's good down low dot.
And here comes the subs right now, because that is definitely what coach did not talk about during the timeout. They gave up an easy look inside, another deep 3.
And again, no good. Taken up by the Jaguars. Pass bounces its way to Mudge, able to still drain it.
Now, who called that timeout? Was the Mavericks or the Jags? Because the Jags have been benefiting from the timeout there, boy. My goodness.
Yeah, 2 contested 3-pointers and another 3. This time it's open, and
but
Mensah drains it.
That one was at the white line. The last 2 were well behind the black line.
Yeah.
So way too deep and way too early. Akbar will, I think he's going to earn a trip to the bench as a result of those 2 shots. So let me just see here. Sub is being held out. Is it Akbar? It's got to be Akbar.
There was a buzzer which went off, and both team coaches are now having a discussion here as, yes, indeed, there is a substitution.
But it's going to be for Spencer. Sorry, Opry? No.
Apadre.
Apadra.
Yes. Either way, coming into the game will be Nagaye. Drive down low, Mudge. Good.
Mudge has now jumped out to 11 points for the game. He is becoming a factor.
Long 3-pointer. This time the 3 behind the line's good.
Deep. Like, he's well behind the NBA line.
Yeah, they're shooting right behind the black line. Both of these teams have been all game.
It's amazing how the 3-point line, the 3-point ball, has changed the game of basketball. I know our good friend, Bob Turner, longtime coach and representative of the Windsor basketball community. He's written a second book, and it's entitled How the 3-Point Shot Has Changed the Game, Dr. Naismith's Game. in that book. He's acknowledging the top 60 female players of all time.
Yeah.
He's looking at the all-time great teams in the Windsor-Essex County area. They've got it. They actually had it for some of the athletes here, and they've got it on sale on the concourse.
I'll definitely have to try and pick up a copy myself. I'm now
Oh,
interested.
it's a fun read. If you want to know the history of basketball and you want to learn the deep and rich results that have happened, I mean, I know most recently we hear and we are very proud of Mike Mulder and his NBA contract, which is a new 3-year deal for him. But, Mike has come on the back of many, many great teams, great athletes, great coaches. And Bob Turner is an incredible resource from his book a few years ago where he named the top 100 players of all time in Windsor-Essex County. And then came back with this book and acknowledged the women who have made an incredible contribution, from Maya Langlois and I think it was Maya Langlois on top of the list. Clemenceau was in there. There was Shelley Lynn Cross, of course, Misty Thomas, a longtime national team representative. Maya's there now. So and Bob has just been a diligent worker in the background of identifying these teams and these individuals.
Absolutely.
Zone out of bounds, skip pass, set play. Beasley in the corner. Like that one. I like that. Everything was right, just not the shot. So good design play out of bounds.
Mavericks now look to respond back. They trail 48-47, under 3 minutes to go after some discussion. And
Justin, I think I'm right in saying that the greatest has been 4 points. That's
Yeah.
it. The only separation has been 4. So
Give or take.
neither team's going away.
should know
Oh,
that as the 3 goes off the front of the rim, there was that discussion you were seeing there as we were discussing
Yes.
in the importance of some of the discussions. The shot clock is currently not working. That is something that has been done here in this facility before, where if there's a shot clock issue, they will consult with coaches.
Okay. Well, Justin, and I know you're a man, a jack of all trades, from calling NASCAR events in Ohio and Kentucky to calling, I think, from hockey to basketball to football. I know you do that as well.
Yeah,
So you know the lay of the land here, and it's been a while. But, yeah, that's right. The shot clocks are not working. That's a travel.
And
Yes,
yes,
it better be.
indeed.
Yeah.
So Jaguars turn it back over and still hold the advantage by 1 with
Dot
2:11.
looks like he could fall over with a good breeze, so it didn't take much for him to fall there. 6'7" and a long Sudanese reach.
Okay, now the shot clock is rolling once more. It had not been moving for about 2 to 3 possessions in the facility, so it appears the issue may have been rectified. Stolen away by Mudge. Here come the Jaguars.
There's the Euro. Good no call. Oh, look at that. Get up. Very good no call by referee Rose. And it looked to me like the defender was on or near that ring, which is the kind of demilitarized zone. You got to take that charge well out from the rim. And Mudge picks up his 13th point. Leading scorer for both teams.
Mudge having a good game as still 18 on the shot clock for the Mavericks.
The working shot clock, Justin.
Yes, indeed. And
Stepped out.
yes, indeed. Turn back over.
That generally is the familiarity with a neutral court. My issue with that is it is so wide out there, there's no reason to step out.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of space. He's got a little bit of sensory awareness.
And both teams now discussing things, just making sure everyone's in the coach's boxes as they go back underway with the Jaguars' possession. Taken up slowly by John Paul, the second squad. Drive inside. The floater off the back rim. Second chance.
Might have been a foul in there. It looked like his hand was pulled down, and not used to calling games this high off the floor. It was hard to see, but you know what? Both referees had a far better angle than I did. So play on, boys, play on. A minute 13 left in the third quarter, and 3 points separate these two teams. The designated home team Jaguars are in the lead.
I cut that time on the miss. 2 substitutions coming in for the Mavericks. Back onto the floor once again will be Lacorte. Also back onto the court with the substitutions will bring Akbar to the court. Akbar has the size mismatch. Pass back up top. 17 on the shot clock.
Little screen, little rub. Not much of a screen, just a rub action to create some defensive switches, try to create an advantage. Oh, good rim attack there. Up and under. Well done. Was that Spence? Who was that?
That was Mensah on the bucket once
Mensah.
again.
Oh, good pass.
And wide open right-handed stuff from Dutt.
Yeah, and a great delivery by Mudge. You know, I made that comment earlier, and he seems to have settled himself, both points and distribution-wise. Nice work by the grade 11 student, the Jaguar leader.
Cervito that time on the miss 3, taken back up by John Paul II.
So getting a little away from it here, but it's still only 3-point in it.
Agok, double teamed along the sideline.
Wow.
Jump passes it forward, down low. It's good.
It's nice to have a 6'7" release valve at the bottom of the defensive pressure. Tremendous pass right up over the top. Smart play by the Jags to finish and take their biggest lead of the game at 5 points.
Yes, indeed. End of the third quarter. Score 54-49 for John Paul II over John Vanier. And they took that control in part because of some nifty moves, it seemed, and some nifty plays.
Yeah, and you know what, Justin? I might have to change my tune a little bit. You challenged me and asked what I thought the key was, and I gave my standard first 3 minutes. It seemed to me it was the last 3 minutes of that quarter.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah.
And they certainly finished that quarter very strong.
Well, there's that saying, right? And they absolutely followed that one to a T. Here's the thing, though. There's still 8 minutes to go for the fourth. You still have to finish all the minutes in the ball game.
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot, I think, separating this team. These two teams. I'm going to stick to my guesstimate there that I think the first to 65 is going to win. You know, they may get 65 and then maybe cruise with some foul shots from then. That'll mean a 16-point quarter, which is asking a lot of the Jags. A 11-point quarter for the for the Jaguars. Yeah. A 16-point quarter for the Mavs.
About to get back underway for the start of the fourth quarter. Mavericks with the first possession. Taken up by Mensah. Lined up onside. Avantre getting the screen. This time from Spencer. Spencer jump shot. No good. Rebound picked up by Caleb Moses Dunn. Taken up by Emmanuel Acut. Who back to Dunn. Dunn. Stolen away from behind. Fast break. No one around. Left-hand layup. It's good.
Turnovers, steals, and then transition baskets the other way.
Turnovers can lead to those, indeed.
Hybrid zone there, kind of a flex 1-3-1.
Trying to stretch the floor of the Jaguars to break out of the zone. Corner 3, it's good. A cut. And the Jaguars are doing the right things to break through that zone. Mavericks now trying to deal with their own defensive pressure. Pass back outside. Mensah stepping to the right. The corner. Back down low in traffic, no good.
Hard luck for Akbar there. Beautiful cut. The man-to-man had to turn around and protect the baseline.
Approaching 90 seconds into the fourth quarter. Has it stolen away? No. Bobbled out of bounds on the steal attempt. Cervito couldn't keep in bounds with the momentum pushing him to the bench.
No, right into the Mavericks bench.
Yeah.
Or to the Jaguars bench did the Maverick go.
And now the Jaguars set up with 21 seconds still on the shot clock. Drive forward. Agok watches as Mudge drains another one.
15 points for him, leading all scorers.
Lead is up to 8 now for John Paul II.
Might be the first time I saw Akbar try a dribble drive or a little bit of penetration off the dribble. He's been shooting the threes.
Wide open paint. Leads to the bucket inside. Mensah.
Nice little look and a left-hand dribble drive there. So using the dribble to get it to the rim.
Mudge. Bullet pass. Down low. Once again, banked home. Dutt again.
Yeah, Dutt he actually has a nice little touch around the basket, but I'm concerned because the Mavericks really have no answer for his height. I don't believe they have anybody that's above 6'3", and I think that's a generous 6'3", 6'4". So they have no answer for him inside.
Three-pointer hit right on back by John Vanier to bring it to a 5-point deficit.
Nice answer.
Jaguars.
Well, that's a foul on White.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
He was smothered by Cervito, and he's going to be caught for the personal as he nearly hugged Agak on that one.
No, it's a foul on the Jags.
Yes, indeed, it is on Agak, yes.
Yeah, Agak, wait a minute.
And now they're going.
Wait a minute. What did he call? Because it was absolutely Agak's foul. He used his elbow to get leverage, his arm to get leverage, hooked him, but maybe the initial contact was, that's what it is.
Yeah, that pivoted him away from that footing as the three-pointer's no good from Beasley. Either way, Mavericks now get the ball.
Beasley in a bit of a drought since his opening three-pointer in the first quarter.
Yeah, he's missed.
He's not hit one since, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Spencer. Driving, rejected. Second chance outside off the right side of the rim.
Live by the three, die by the three. Trailing by 5, Mavs are looking to get it from the outside.
Trying to find space. Agag. What a pass. Rejection.
Akbar standing out of bounds, but a nice block by Akbar. They list him at 5'10", and that's generous. And remember I just said they didn't have an answer for Dot, and there's your answer. Let's put the 5'9.5" Akbar on him.
Mm-hmm. That time it worked. Substitution brings Shaheem Nelson onto the floor.
Love that play. Love that play.
And Dot again take advantage with the size.
Straight up lob from the baseline. They have no answer for that kid, and he's now got 12 points.
And a quick jump shot back for 3. Yes, he's got it.
No sooner did I say they have no answer for him, they've hit 2 threes in a row.
63-59 is the score. 4:10 to go in the fourth. Baseline, Mudge. Back outside. The drive, a cut. In the lane, draws 2 free throws. He'll go to the stripe.
Bailed him out there. I don't think that that was going to be a high percentage shot on the best of days. Nice attack by Akat, but he was bailed out by the defense as his momentum limited his shot chance there, and he was fouled. He gets 2.
And it's been an interesting difference in play styles we've seen here a bit, though, too, it's been the size of the 6'7", 6'5" players we've seen have some big impact. Compare that to the fact that it's been basically all small ball from the Mavericks.
It sure has. And we mentioned the first to 65. We're not there yet, but it's starting to add up and not in the Mavericks' favor. Their small ball is going to have to cash in.
Mensah passes out of the jump, and that's a backcourt violation.
Over and back. Got caught in the air, and again, that was the help defense by Dot coming over. No chance for Mensah to make that one, and he couldn't find an open teammate.
So Jaguars now have a chance to grow the gap in this consolation final.
There's Akbar. Nice play.
Able to steal it away, able to Euro step his way in for the layup.
Kind of a little bit of a sidewinder step there. Didn't need it, but made it. 3 points the margin, 64-61. Jags in the lead.
Moved around the outs.
Scarborough over London.
To the corner. Can he break the ice-cold streak? No. Beasley again misses from beyond the arc. Akbar calling for some motion. Able to get it to Nelson. Nelson avoids the reach. Drives. Kicks it out. Mensah for 3.
Needed it.
Sir.
Got it. Tied up. Needed it. Got it. Tied it. Love it. 3 minutes. Here we go. It's coming down to a 3-minute game. We knew this coming in, consolation championship or not, these teams are going to compete, and they truly have. There hasn't been more than 5 points in it.
Yes, indeed. Mudge.
Mudge.
Steps out of bounds.
Yeah, just some trouble gathering there. I was about to say, here comes Mr. Mudge.
And now that's going to be inbounded by the Mavericks along the sideline.
giving his teammate Dot an earful, and there's the timeout called by the Jags. Let's see where did Garvey say? I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, without a stadium announcer, it's hard to know, but I'm pretty sure they called it. I believe this is his first of the second half, and it is the required one before the 2-minute mark. So if you don't use it, you lose it. So this one will probably be just what I call hearts and lungs.
Yeah.
It's a chance for him to get the heart rate down and get the lungs rested, the legs a little bit rested. It's only a minute, but it means a lot to get a little drink, and then we're going to battle it out for the last 2:44.
Well, there was something you said at the end of the third quarter. It's not the saying of it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
You're right.
Well, that's definitely going to be key now.
Yeah, and I'm still sticking to my prediction here, Justin. We're at 64 apiece. I think the team that scores the 65th point first is going to win this.
Well, that's 1 point
Care to
away.
wager? It's 1 point away. I'm comfortable with that. I think it's going to be in it right here.
It's going to be interesting.
I know you're an unemployed student and you don't want to bet money. Is that what it is?
Sure. Let's go with that point. It can go any way. That's
sure
the main
can.
thing.
Yeah, I would not wager on who's going to win it because with the 3-point option that the Mavericks have definitely capitalized on, whereas at the other end the Jags have gone through pretty much Mudge and Dot.
Yeah,
they've been kind of the 1-2 punch down there. Dot more so recently, and Mudge was really good during the third quarter.
Now it's the matter of who's going to come out on top, tied 64 all in the OFSAA AA Consolation Final. Outside, Spencer. What a size up. Tries to pass it forward, instead draws a foul.
That's going to be on the sideline. I thought once he heard the whistle, he might have tried a shot attempt there to get himself 2 foul shots. Instead, they'll go blob, baseline out of bounds.
And the blob plays have been pretty good in this game today.
Just a spread. Geez, it was there. That was there for sure.
That was the initial play. We've seen a couple times. No good on the second opportunity, Akbar. Jaguars look to try and strike back. Instead, it's a foul on Mensah.
Wow, that was a little bit soft. But referee Rose said, that can't be done. 2:20 on the clock, 64 all.
See where they go. Dutt's calling for it. Instead, it's inbounded over to a cut. Outside, Mudge.
Yeah, I don't think Mudge is going to take it from there. He's a penetrator. Yeah. I play him. I get well off of him, make him shoot jumpers.
A cut. Trying to penetrate on his own, gets it with the right hand.
Yeah, between a Cott and Dot, both of them long but have tremendous touch around the basket.
And now the Jaguars have the lead, under 2 minutes to go, 1:53 to be precise.
That's that 65th point we were talking about.
Well, that indeed holds true. Mensah, outside Spencer, has it stripped away, Mudge with the steal.
Yeah, nice work there. I think the tip goes to Beasley. Mudge got the result. He'll go into the stats book, but Beasley got the tip away.
And now it's getting stripped back.
Wow.
But they throw it out of bounds.
Almost had. It could have been a steal for a steal there.
LaCourte got a tremendous steal, but it goes off of him and back out. Timeout call. Jaguars are the ones who trigger it.
$1:29 left. Jaguars are going 2 timeouts in less than just over a minute time span. So obviously in this case, coach is not seeing what he wants to see, so Schumacher is going to settle his guys down. This can be one of those special possessions. So having gotten the basket in their last possession and almost a turnover here, he just wants to settle his troops down, give the Jags a chance to probably run a little bit of clock, because now it is a factor with $1:29 left and a couple of good quality deep possessions. You can really limit your opponent's options because they're Mavericks in a trailing position.
Yeah, at this point, it's the question of what do the Mavericks do here.
Well, they've been doing it all game. They're definitely not going to sit back in any sort of zone here. Now they're going to be forced to come up. Perhaps they can do it. They can junk it up a little bit here on the inbounds. You can do a little bit of a jump trap. I call it twist.
Yeah.
I think they should leave the inbounder alone and then twist over to whoever gets the inbound and look for the double. So I think that's what we're going to see here. Although there's the fifth. Akbar is just coming on now. So see how they're off the ball. They're off the inbounder. And it doesn't look like they're going to jump anything. They're going to leave it soft. That's way too easy in my book.
Inbounded straight towards the baseline. Reset back up towards the top. Beasley to Mudge. Tapped out of bounds.
Mudge loves that skip pass. We saw it earlier in the second quarter, but I'd like to see a ball fake first because now he's kind of tipping his hand here. And the defense has seen it as well, so they're ready for it.
So 26 on the shot clock. Tapped up.
Foul.
In traffic, Dutt, no call. Still with it, though, is Agag. This time, tapped out of bounds. Pass inside a triple.
A lot of telegraphing going on out there. Look, and still try to make the same pass. You got to look the defender off. You got to fake the defender off. Some little basics and fundamentals. Patience.
15 on the shot clock, rolling down, approaching 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter. Still spreading it. Pass to Dutt, this time stolen away.
I think during the timeout they wanted to get it into Dutt, and they were, oh my goodness,
and
that is so
Mensa misses the
costly.
time bucket.
Oh, I thought Mensa was just going to drain that little baby layup.
And now the Jaguars.
Yeah, look, they finally got it to Dutt, and there it is. So there you saw on 3 separate possessions, forced passes to Dutt. Even on the inbounds, they tried to go to him. But I think that goes to Schumacher. I believe that's what he would have talked about. We're going inside. They can't stop us. And to a point where they almost forced it, but they did pay dividends. He's going to get the and one. A chance for a three-point play the traditional way.
Timeout called by the Mavericks. And that likely may be the dagger unless the Mavericks can somehow hit a triple.
Well, I think the 3-ball is definitely going to come into play, and to me, it's an early 3-ball.
Yeah.
Clock is going to be turned off, and the shot clock will be turned off in 6 seconds.
Yes. So this is a tough situation now for them with the chance to go down by 5 pending how this free throw goes.
Right should be. And that has been the largest margin for either side, has been a 5-point differential in the game. So the Forest City JV Mavericks are going to need to answer the call here with 41.3 left. And, of course, the Scarborough St. Paul Jaguars are in the driver's seat.
John Paul II Jaguars.
What did I say?
St. Paul.
Did you just correct me in front of everybody out there on the internet? Well done. Well done. I deserved it. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. He might have been a Saint too, though. We're not going to go with that. Can't give me any leeway, Justin.
I can't remember.
Okay,
to be precise. This is it's basketball. Ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
Dutt is at the stripe with a chance to complete an N1, with a chance to grow the lead to 5.
Here's an absolute must, though. Regardless of what happens, all 3 red shirts need to box out. You cannot give another possession here.
Box out comes, free throw misses.
So let's see. A little urgency. Smart defense by the Jags. Good screen by Akot.
5-second difference. Shot clock. Dane clock. Blocked on the shot is Akbar.
Yeah, Akbar televised that.
Dutt, the dagger, yes.
Dutt picks up his 18th point of the game. Leading scorer. That should be a 3.
No good on the shot. Shot clock is off. Intentional foul drawn by Mudge. And that does put them at the limit. So Mudge to the stripe with the 15 foul for John Vanier of this quarter.
Well, truly a chance. It's a 2-possession game right now at 6 points. This is a chance for Mudge to really put this away. 3 possessions in 16 seconds is really asking a lot.
However, Mudge has been 1 for 2 just about every trip.
I think that's the announcer's jinx right there, Justin.
That's the thing. He's missed his first free throw every single time.
50% shooter. Wow, soft rims. Now it's a 3-possession game. You actually don't even need to get it over half.
They do take it over half. Taking a lot of time, under 10 seconds remaining.
Oh, that's a good play. That was smart.
Akbar no good.
Akbar no good. Need a 3. Yeah, why not?
Chucked up for 3 off the front rim, and the consolation final goes to John Paul II. They win 71-64 is the final.
Well, a chance, Justin, to say thanks for calling the game. The melodic voice of the multi-skilled announcer, Justin Price.
Prince.
The Prince, and the price is right, and we love having him in here because he volunteers his time.
Yes.
And we will have a call of the bronze medal game and the gold medal game coming up at, I believe it's 1 and 3 respectively. Is that accurate? 1:15. Yeah, we can tune in at 1:15 and 3 o'clock. Followed by the Express game after that as well, where you're going to be back on duty, I understand.
Yes, myself and Aaron Sanders will be calling that game, and that's against the Halifax Hurricanes tonight at a 7 p.m. tip. You can catch that live at MBLC Live, but a competitive game here for this consolation final. Again, as my partner said, we'd like to thank you for tuning in for this action. Congratulations once again to John Paul II on winning the consolation final.